Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Now. Live before Danica Lewis is in for Susan Simon, who's helping her son move on campus.
Yeah, sounds like a real thrill right there.
She texted me and said it's madness.
I can only imagine. I've never had to do it, so.
You know, when I was in school, we didn't do this. We had 9-month leases.
Oh, yeah, no, they ship them in and out quick in there now.
She's having fun.
We certainly hope at least a little bit.
Thanks for helping out today.
Of course.
Here's what's making news on this Thursday. Governor Evers is joining other Democratic lawmakers to reform gun laws, including universal background checks, but some Republican lawmakers are not budging.
Wayne Murphy, the man accused of hitting a school bus while driving a semi under the influence, takes the stand in day 4 of his trial.
And the FDA has announced a new rule on cigarette labels, creating more explicit warnings of the dangers of smoking. Let's
turn it over now to the weather words here. You are looking at that beautiful, iconic shot. I believe it's on, I hope, Olin Park, maybe?
Yep.
Yeah.
Usually the spot.
Usually the spot to be. Enjoy this evening.
That's it? Just this evening? And then not?
I guess we turn it over to Dana Fulton to get a check on that. Dana, how about outside of this evening?
You really have got the next several hours to enjoy. We've got some sunshine right now. Temperature-wise, it's fantastic. But unfortunately, as we look ahead to this weekend and even into your Friday morning, the chance for some showers and thunderstorms, it's definitely going to march right back on in. It's certainly going to feel much more humid outside also by the weekend. Here's a live look at our Edgewater Skycam. Again, sunshine right now. Nothing new moving in on our Doppler track. It really is going to be a pleasant evening. It's 77 currently in Madison and in Janesville, about 76 in Lone Rock. A little warmer than this time yesterday, but our dew points are in a pretty comfortable spot in the 50s, and that's where we like to keep them. Tomorrow, though, plan on some showers and thunderstorms early in the day. Temps will be similar, but it is going to be just a little more humid in the afternoon, and then the warming trend carries into the weekend. And of course, next week we'll look at that full forecast though in just a few minutes. Right now, here's a look at the Beltline and Park Street, the eastbound side of the Beltline. Starting to see a few slowdowns there. Speeds reduced to the mid-20s, close to 30 miles per hour, but traffic still moving at least on the eastbound side. The westbound side, thankfully, no major delays, and the isthmus right now doesn't look too bad. Around Wanakee, it seems to, we will be seeing those delays, of course, here in the next few hours, but right now things do look okay. Same goes for DeForest. As far as your drive times go to get from Janesville to the Beltline, will be about 27 minutes, 16 minutes from Sauk City to Middleton, and 19 minutes from Sun Prairie to downtown. Again, enjoy this evening because the next few days, it won't be too bad tomorrow evening, but it is certainly going to be a little more humid outside, and right now it's pretty gosh darn perfect.
Get out if you can right now, it sounds like.
Yes, definitely.
All right, run, do not walk to the nearest exit. Thank you, Dana.
We have some breaking news into the Channel 3000 Alert Center. Police say race car driver Dale Earnhardt Jr. was involved in a plane crash in Tennessee. This is a live look at the scene. The plane slid off the runway, but everybody was able to get out of the plane safely. That's not the plane crash, I don't believe. That's Marine One. That's not the right scene. Anyway, that's the breaking news. In other news, Governor Evers and state Democrats are calling on lawmakers to take up gun control measures.
That's right, but Republican leaders say they are not likely to pass with a GOP-controlled legislature. Rose Schmidt is live from the state capitol to explain the proposal. Rose?
Yes, Democrats are unveiling a bill that would expand background checks on gun sales, something that Republican leaders say they don't support. Governor Evers and Democratic lawmakers announced that bill at a news conference this morning. The bill would require background checks on handgun purchases with some exceptions, including sales to a firearm dealer, police officer, or member of the military. Evers cited recent mass shootings in El Paso and Dayton as reasons this proposal is needed.
But the truth is, we've seen more and more of these events, and those in power have failed to do much other than say, geez, we're sorry. Gun violence has seemingly become a foregone conclusion.
The Office of Republican Assembly Speaker Robin Vos referred us to comments he made on a radio show this morning saying gun control measures being pushed by Evers are ineffective and, quote, very unlikely to be taken up by lawmakers. Vos says he does not support universal background checks or a red flag law. And Majority Leader Jim Steineke says it's disingenuous to suggest that background checks on private sales could have prevented the recent mass shootings. And he and Vos are calling for expanded mental health resources.
All right, Rose Schmidt reporting live from the Capitol. Thank you, Rose.
A man is in custody this afternoon after a 6-hour standoff with a tactical SWAT team. This started around 1:30 a.m. in the 4000 block of Monona Drive in Madison. That's when a woman in her early 70s told authorities she heard her roommate fire a gunshot out the back porch. She ran to a nearby shopping center where she called 911. Police believe the male roommate did have a shotgun, but there's no indication he was firing it at the roommate.
Her roommate is a 52-year-old male, and apparently we had been summoned there earlier in the night for some activity that may be related to the fact that he might be going through some sort of a mental illness episodic break, which may or may not be compounded by the fact that he has been drinking.
People living nearby were evacuated while police and mental health professionals tried talking with that suspect. The 52-year-old man turned himself in just after 7:30 this morning. There's no word yet on charges.
There were no injuries in an overnight fire at a Sun Prairie apartment complex. It started just before 2 a.m. on Chase Boulevard, just east of Main Street downtown. Fire officials say the fire started in the bathroom of one of the apartments. They were able to contain the fire and save the rest of the building. A trucker accused of driving under the influence of prescription drugs and crashing into a bus on the interstate takes the stand in his own defense. 5 students were seriously injured in that May 2018 incident. Eric Franke has more about the trial of Wayne Murphy. Eric?
Yeah, Danica and Mark have been waiting all week to hear from Murphy. What we heard today in court was his side of the story from the moment he started his day down at the Flying J truck stop in South Beloit until he collided with that bus on the interstate at mile marker 123 near Lodi. Murphy himself testified why he seemed to be driving erratically as he handled his big rig in a construction zone with what he categorized as a tricky top-loaded trailer, winds that affected his drive as he navigated through some moderate Madison area traffic that day. He also said he did do his routine pre-trip inspection and took his anxiety meds as directed by his physician.
I felt relaxed. I mean, if you're talking as in a euphoric high or something like that, I mean, I didn't take enough to try to get high on it or whatever.
Now, that bus was pulled over on the shoulder due to some mechanical issues. Murphy faces a total of 46 counts. 10 of them are felony charges for injury by intoxicated use of a vehicle and for second-degree reckless injury. Now, again, closing arguments are happening right now. We will recap those next hour on News 3 Now at 5. And Murphy is likely to have his fate in the hands of a jury very shortly. Danica, Mark?
We will check back in with you. Thank you, Eric.
You're welcome.
The gunman who brought a Philadelphia neighborhood to a standstill for more than 7 hours is in police custody after being evaluated at the hospital. 36-year-old Maurice Hill's gun battle with police began around 4:30 yesterday afternoon when officers tried to serve a drug warrant. Officials say the operation went awry almost immediately, and 6 officers were shot. They were taken to local hospitals and released later in the evening while the suspect remained holed up.
It's nothing short of a miracle that we don't have multiple officers killed today.
Well into the night, SWAT teams evacuated 2 officers and 3 civilians from inside the home. CBS News has learned the suspect has an extensive criminal history, including several gun possession charges. Police have not yet announced charges against Hill in this case. The man known as the Hollywood Ripper could face the death penalty after a jury found him guilty of murder and burglary today. Michael Gargiulo showed no emotion as that verdict was read. The convictions are in connection to the deaths of women in 2001 and 2005 and the attempted murder of another in 2008. All 3 women were his neighbors. Actor Ashton Kutcher was among those who testified for the prosecution. His friend Ashley Ellerin was murdered in her Hollywood Hills home in February of 2001, the night he was going to take her to a post-Grammys party. Kutcher testified he was running late when he went to Ellerin's home and knocked on her door but got no answer. He said he assumed she left without him, but her roommate found her the next morning stabbed 47 times.
This killer, Michael Gargiulo, thought about, carefully planned these attacks, knew what he was doing, and acted on that.
So the defense attorney in this case insisted the air conditioner repairman was innocent. Jurors will be back on Tuesday to determine whether he was sane at the time of the crimes. The FDA has unveiled graphic new health warnings it wants to add to cigarette packages and labels. They say the images send a clear message to the public about the consequences of smoking. Nicole Killian reports from Washington.
The proposed warning labels feature graphic images showing what the FDA calls the lesser-known consequences of smoking, conditions like cancerous tumors, COPD, lost limbs, and macular degeneration.
Adults, kids, smokers, non-smokers. This was new information to all of them.
Under a rule proposed by the agency, the images would appear prominently on cigarette packages and ads to protect the public health.
Tobacco use is the leading cause of preventable death in the United States.
Erica Swart of the American Lung Association says the government has a responsibility to lower tobacco use.
Graphic warning labels are proven to reduce tobacco use, whether it's to prevent kids from starting to use or to prompt smokers to get the help they need to quit.
Cigarette labels were last updated in 1984 to include a warning label on the side of the box from the Surgeon General that smoking may be hazardous to your health.
We do need to make sure we get the messaging right, but I think the ones that I've seen are on the right track.
The FDA tried to change labels a decade ago, but a federal appeals court sided with the tobacco industry, saying they violated the First Amendment. A spokesman for one of the country's largest tobacco companies, R.J. Reynolds, says it supports public awareness efforts on tobacco, but says the FDA's messages cannot run afoul of the law. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Washington.
And the FDA says the White House and Health and Human Services are very supportive of the plan. The FDA is seeking input from the public until October 15th on the new labels and plans to finalize its rule next spring.
Still to come at 4, the U.S. female soccer team's fight to earn equal pay comes to a halt after just one day of hearings.
We'll have more on the effect that they say, the effort they say is for all female athletes, and explain why the talks broke down. That's when Live at 4 continues.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Well, talks between the U.S. women's soccer team and U.S. Soccer Federation over equal pay have broken down after just one day.
The players are working off their World Cup victory in France, making a case for equal pay not just for female athletes, but for all working women. The team filed a gender discrimination lawsuit in March. Members were hoping mediation talks with the U.S. Soccer Federation would bring their pay in line with their male counterparts. More than 50 years after the Equal Pay Act was passed, a woman working full-time in the United States still only earns 80.7 cents for every dollar a man earns.
We have a great case because it's based on a very simple principle that we think is fair and right, and it is the law.
U.S. Soccer blamed the impasse on the players' lawyers and said in a statement, quote, "We are undaunted in our efforts to continue discussions in good faith." The women won their 4th World Cup last month, but made less than a quarter of what the U.S. men's team would have been paid for a similar feat.
Walmart appears to be taking a stand on gun control, sort of. CEO Doug McMillon said today his company supports common sense gun legislation. He specifically mentioned background checks and removing weapons from people who pose an imminent danger. He did not endorse any specific legislation, saying instead reauthorization of the assault weapons ban should be debated. Walmart fell under renewed criticism for selling firearms after a gunman killed 22 people at one of its stores in El Paso, Texas, earlier this month. It was a mixed day on Wall Street following yesterday's steep loss as the Dow Industrials managed a nearly 100-point gain, closing at 25,579. The Nasdaq Composite Index lost 7, but the S&P 500 gained nearly 7. Well, it's almost the weekend in the 608.
And here with a look at what's going on in our area is Joel Potnow with Madison Magazine. Joel, welcome.
Good to see you again.
Yeah.
You too.
A big weekend for gay pride in Madison.
It is. This is the 30th anniversary of the first Gay Pride Parade in Madison. And there's a lot going on. It's not just a parade this year. I'll mention a couple things. I think that's all we have time for. But to begin with, on Saturday night at the Majestic, there is a night of live hip-hop by a handful of local and regional LGBTQ artists performing the 3rd annual Hot Summer Gays, as the event is called. One example is DeQuadre Smith, a student at the UW-Madison First Wave Arts program. And then on Sunday, from 1 to 6 p.m. at Warner Park, is the Outreach Magic Festival, where there will be speeches, more live music, entertainment for all ages, food and drink, and lots of vendors.
Lots going on there. Yeah, for sure. So something a little bit different, some art to check out maybe?
Yes, the Fitchburg Agora Arts Festival is happening again at the Agora Center building in Fitchburg. More than 100 artists and thousands of fair-goers are expected at the 11th Annual Art Fair, showcasing local and regional painters, jewelers, ceramicists, photographers, and sculptors. So go for the art, food, and drink, and bring the little ones to the Children's Art Yard for some hands-on fun.
And it's always a good event.
Yep.
Lots of fun. Lots of live music as well this weekend.
There always is. But I think what I'd point people to is the James Hunter concert at the Majestic Theater tomorrow night. Hunter is a British soul singer and blues guitarist who has toured with and recorded with Van Morrison. He's opened for Willie Nelson, Aretha Franklin, even Eb James. He himself is a Grammy-nominated musician, now headlining his own tour on the strength of his 2018 album, Whatever It Takes. So you can see him tomorrow night at the Majestic.
A big name.
Yeah.
Seems like it, yeah.
Or should be, even more so.
Yeah, no kidding. And then we have a run, sort of, kind of?
Yeah, and as a former runner with a bum knee, even I could do this one. Sunday at 10 a.m. is the 0.1K resistance run.
It's my kind of run right there, Joel.
Well, it's the shortest charity run you'll ever want to complete, or have to. Participants will start at the High Noon Saloon, where the pre-party is, and run to the Sylvie. That's a distance of roughly 1 city block. But finishers will still receive a medal and get one of those oval 0.1K stickers to post with pride. But they also get an entry to the Sylvie, where there's a show by the country and rock cover band The Pork Tornadoes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And this is a benefit for the Underdog Pet Rescue of Wisconsin.
I just want the sticker for my car.
Right, exactly. That's a pretty funny
a block
sticker.
Is too far for you, Mark?
No, I think is there a walk element I could walk?
Yeah, right.
All right,
sure.
lots going on as usual, Joel. Thank you.
You bet.
For this month's get this month's Madison magazine for all the best in the Madison area, and there's more to come at 4, including a full look at your first alert forecast with Dana Fulton.
And tonight at 5, a Beloit school board member is calling out the district for policies he feels are forcing out leaders of color. We'll be right back.
Take a look at this. These sculptures in a Colorado yard are impressive in their own right. Now consider the fact that the artist who made them is legally blind.
Holy smokes.
To create the pieces, Fort Collins resident Chris Brown uses reclaimed granite countertops, and he gets help from his wife when constructing his art. What started as a hobby has grown into what he calls a granite paradise.
That's so cool.
Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing. I mean, even just the making sure everything balances out so it stays in place. Like, that is incredible.
Good for him.
Yeah,
Very cool.
no kidding.
Very cool.
Okay, so 50 years ago today, one of the most infamous music festivals of all time kicked off in Bethel, New York.
Woodstock ran for 3 days back in 1969. Initially, a crowd of just 50,000 was expected to attend, but it soon became very, very clear to organizers that hundreds of thousands more would be making the journey, much to the consternation of Bethel's residents and local authorities. More than 30 acts performed that weekend, including legendary sets by Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, and The Who. Hendrix was slated to perform on Sunday, but due to rain delays, finally took the stage at 8:30 a.m. Monday morning.
And by then, a lot of people had already left.
They had already left, and there are so many cool videos circulating online today of like the sets that went on and different cool pictures.
And the trash.
Yes.
And the trash. There were a lot of people. There was a lot going on.
Yeah, a whole lot of people, and apparently some rain.
Yeah, quite a weekend.
little bit of rain. We also have some rain in our forecast, unfortunately. Looking at this evening, though, things should be very, very nice outside, as you can see. A nice blue sky, just a few clouds. For tomorrow morning, though, plan on some showers, and for most days in the next week, we'll pick up some kind of rainfall coming through. We'll take a look at your forecast right after the break. Right now, thankfully, our radar is nice and quiet. We don't have any showers coming on through. Now, in the last 24 hours, it stayed pretty quiet for us also, not picking up any rainfall, which has been a nice little break with the showers that have moved in for the last several days. And of course, the rain that will be coming in as we look ahead to Friday and Saturday and Sunday and into much of next week. So we're going to enjoy this evening in the nice and blue sky that we have right now over Madison. Here's a live look with our WISC-TV sky cam. Again, just a few clouds, but otherwise really pleasant outside. Currently 77 right now if you're stepping outside. Our dew points are in the 50s, which means it's incredibly comfortable, and a light breeze. It's going to stay pretty calm for us overnight also. So 77 in Madison, 79 in La Crosse, and 75 in Dubuque. So everyone's sitting in a similar spot. There's no big temperature divides. We don't have any fronts dragging across the northern Midwest right now. Dew points are in the 50s. Again, that's the real game changer there. If those dew points were any higher, it would not feel nearly as comfortable outside. High pressure is going to keep us fairly quiet tonight. We do have some storms down to the southwest and off to the northwest in the Dakotas. Again, quiet tonight, but we do have the chance, or at least through the rest of the evening, but the chance for showers and thunderstorms is going to start to develop by early Friday morning. So enjoy the next several hours. Later tonight, we become mostly cloudy. By early on Friday, we do have the chance for some showers and thunderstorms. Then skies will become partly sunny sunny again in the afternoon. It'll be a little more humid outside, but Friday afternoon and evening won't be too bad outside. By Saturday, we will have some sun early in the day, and then the chance for some showers and thunderstorms will be crossing in overnight and into early on Sunday morning. Any of those showers will end early in the day on Sunday, and then we're looking at some sun coming in later. Because of that storm chance building in late on Saturday, there is going to be a marginal risk for severe weather, especially along the western edge, where we could be seeing those storms come in a little earlier. And concern, of course, for some isolated heavy rain at spots, and may see some stronger wind gusts. By the time the showers come through Sunday morning and, of course, later in the day on Sunday, our accumulation totals could be hovering close to about 1.5 inches or even 1.75 inches for some isolated areas. The concern, of course, if we see some thunderstorms starting to trail each other, or those spots where the heavier rain does pick up, that's where we'll see the highest accumulation total. It's not a major rain event, just something that we want to keep an eye on those lower lying areas, and if we start to see those storms trail each other. Again, by Friday morning, we do have those isolated showers and thunderstorms building on in. Your morning commute might be a little slower because of those rain chances. In the afternoon, though, our skies becoming partly sunny. High temperatures will be in the upper 70s, so similar temps to today, but it is going to be just a little more humid outside. Saturday, we get to enjoy some sun, but it is also going to be more humid for this weekend. High temperatures will be in the low 80s for this weekend. And the humidity and the warm air stays with us. Since the clouds are going to build back in overnight, we aren't going to drop too much for overnight lows. In fact, over the next few hours, we'll fall into the 60s just after sunset. But by tomorrow morning, or at least by daybreak, plan on those temperatures landing near 60. As it does become mostly cloudy, those shower and thunderstorm chances will develop for early on Friday morning. And then for Friday afternoon, any showers or thunderstorms should wrap up in the morning. In the afternoon, we do become partly sunny. High temperatures close to today. A little below average, but still pretty pleasant, about 78 around Madison. Low 80s on Saturday with storm chances building in late in the day. The last into Sunday morning, we're in the mid to low 80s, stretching all through next week and into the following weekend. Quite a little heat wave, not just for us, through actually most of the country, expecting quite a warm up for next week. Also a humid stretch along with those temperatures hopping into the mid 80s. Our heat index readings are going to cross close to 90 again for most of next week. So just plan ahead as we look towards next week and the weekend. It's going to be more humid outside and also quite a bit warmer. So enjoy tonight, like I said earlier. Enjoy this evening because it's going to be great.
I had the windows open for 3 hours today.
3 hours?
That's it.
Oh, good. I had the porch open for this morning until like 7 a.m. and then
No, it's a little too thick outside.
A little too much.
All right.
I'll turn the AC off in October.
Right. It seems like it. And then the heat blasts a week later.
Right.
Go from air conditioning to heat. That's what we're
Yeah. I got to figure out how to work the radiator.
Thank you, Dana. It was a mad dash for cash in Milwaukee yesterday. $2,000 was hidden throughout the city by a gaming company, and thousands of people were out looking.
Mark McPherson was part of that hunt. He reports from Milwaukee.
You just got to really look. What would you do for $100?
There's one right over up here.
Thousands in Milwaukee ran, crawled, and searched in the weeds for their chance at $100.
We're just hoping that people can come out and just have some fun.
John Kelly from Breakout Games says the money hunt gave the entire city a chance to play the same game, and the city definitely showed up.
This is crazy. It's like New York City here.
This man wasn't playing, but got caught in the traffic jam it created.
We got here, and then all of a sudden, everybody is here. Just everybody.
Every half hour, a new clue was released, sending crowds into a frenzy.
I have to give $10 to my dad, and if he finds it, he has to give $10 to me.
Our camera caught a glimpse of one man who came oh so close to finding one. Look closely, and you can see it fall.
No, it's just plain sight.
He didn't spot it, but Javier Rodriguez did.
I'm gonna just keep going. I figured I like that. I might as well just keep going and see what else I could find.
Rodriguez was one of the lucky few to find money, but countless more had fun.
I didn't imagine this. I don't know what I thought, but I was just ready to look. But this is like the whole Milwaukee.
Wow.
Yeah, wow, indeed. Police were on hand to help direct traffic, thank goodness, and keep things under control during that cash hunt.
It was a lot of fun, though.
Yeah, well, it is a really cool idea, but you ask for people. You're going to get people if you hide money.
Free money? Yeah.
Noted.
Still to come before almost every new road and street construction project in Madison involves adding bike lanes.
We will find out whether those really make a difference for cyclists when it comes to safety when Live at 4 continues. A really nice day
Yeah, it
out
is.
this afternoon. Yeah.
We're told to enjoy this evening.
Yes, because rain is on its way, but you're looking at a really nice downtown right now. Those clouds just sparse in the
just
sky.
perfect, just perfect.
Absolutely. Nice day for a bike ride, but it's worth a reminder that hundreds of bikers are killed in traffic accidents every single year.
More bike lanes are popping up in U.S. cities.
Lisa Mateo looks at whether they're actually making cyclists safe.
Last month, a 30-year-old woman was killed riding her bike in New York. Police say the cyclist swerved when the door of a parked van opened, and she rode into the path of a tractor-trailer that hit her. The number of people riding bicycles in urban areas is on the rise, and so are accidents. Deaths are up 25% since 2010. In response, cities have been building more protected bike lanes that separate riders from traffic with barriers like parked cars or posts. A new study from the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety looked at how effective they are.
We found that all bike lanes are not equal.
Lead researcher Jessica Cucino says lanes completely separated from traffic, like a greenway, are the safest. But risk grows as riders interact with cars.
We found that protected bike lanes that had a lot of intersections crossing them or a lot of alleys or driveways tended to be the riskiest, as well as two-way protected bike lanes that were along two-way streets, and those can be challenging for drivers to turn across.
Devin Ahmed is very familiar with this problem.
I have been hit 4 or 5 times in the last year and a half by vehicles turning left.
James Verdes Soto says pedestrians can also cause crashes.
A lot of people are not aware that they're walking in bike lanes, and a lot of people are on their cell phones.
The study found overall there were fewer injuries on the old-fashioned painted lanes, but that's because they're usually in less hazardous areas.
It seems that overall protected bike lanes are doing a good job of preventing the worst kinds of injuries that we're seeing.
Researchers say cities need to consider where they put protected bike lanes to ensure bike riders stay safe. Lisa Mateo, CBS News, New York.
Safety's the key.
Yeah, gotta be careful out there.
Well, still to come at 4. For peach lovers, this is the best time of the year. Peaches in peak bloom or form, I guess. Not in bloom, they
Not
were
in
blooming.
bloom, yeah, sure. Nutritionist Donna Weihoffen is here with some great peachy recipes and a peach shirt, too, for you to try when Live at 4 continues.
So right now we are seeing delays on both the east and westbound side of the Beltline. Eastbound's usual, westbound though, of course, a little more than usual for this time of day. We do have an accident on the exit to Todd Drive on the westbound side. Thankfully, it's only blocking the shoulder right now. No lanes are closed, but of course, traffic is delayed both sides of the interstate now or along the highway. DeForest looks okay around Wanakee. 113, we are seeing delays both east and westbound. As far as your drive times are concerned, from Jaysville to the Beltline, it'll take you just about 26 minutes. 16 minutes to get from Sauk City to Middleton, and from Sunbury to downtown, just a little longer than usual. We about a 19-minute commute this evening. That's a quick look at traffic.
All right, Dana, thank you. Watch this incredible video showing sandstone cliffs crashing down just feet from a group of kayakers. It happened at Picture Rock's National Lakeshore on Lake Superior. Two nature photographers happened to be recording when the incredible incident unfolded. Amazingly, none of the kayakers were hurt, but it's definitely something they won't soon forget. I bet that was loud.
They were so close.
Look at that. Was loud.
That is terrifying.
All right, it's peach time. Donna Wyoffen is here with some peachy recipes for us. This is the peak time of year for peaches.
It is, but not all peaches are ripe. When you go to the grocery store, like this one is really hard as a rock. If you tried to use it today, it would not be good at all. So you really have to wait till it softens.
And they'll soften at home.
They soften at home on the counter, and you just wait till they soften.
Don't refrigerate them.
And then refrigerate them after they're ripe.
Really?
Okay.
But otherwise, they keep getting ripe and get rotten.
Okay.
So, and just smell it because it's actually part of the rose family.
Yeah, this one isn't
They
bad.
have this wonderful flavor.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I love peaches.
It
smells like summer to me.
I know, it is.
Okay, so what are we
I've got
making?
a summer salad, and it's a fruit salad with lettuce. But the key is I have a peach dressing. I parade a whole peach with some vinegar and oil and touches cinnamon and honey. And the fruit, you can taste the fruit. And it has the peach
Is this one or this one?
It's this one. And so you can just drizzle this on your fruit and on your salad. This one right there.
Okay.
And you get the peach flavor. But
oh, there's the peach.
Yeah. Oh, that's a plum, but that's good.
I don't have any peaches in here.
No, it's just the peach dressing.
Oh, okay.
It's dressing for the peaches, for the salad. So it's really nummy.
You failed the test.
I'm confused as usual. All right.
And so that's the salad. So let's do a main course with peaches. And I've done peaches before, but this one is peaches and black beans, and with pork tenderloin. So I think that's just a different combination. It's salsa, fresh peaches, black beans, served on rice with pork tenderloin. So that's kind of different.
Are you a sweet and savory kind of person?
Yes. Now that one's going to be a dessert, so you got to wait.
God's sake.
I'm so anxious here, Mark. I know it smells good,
I'm going to show you how to make a pie. I have this peach melba pie, and that you're going to love.
That looks great.
Love. And what I did, on the bottom, I put a little bit of apricot preserves on the bottom. And let me show you how easy
And this is a regular
pie crust, but I pre-baked it. Otherwise, if you don't, it gets really soggy.
I was going to say, that doesn't look like they come out of the package.
No.
Yeah.
And I pricked it a lot so that it wouldn't puff up. And then I put in 2 peaches. And this just cut up in little pieces. You don't want them in too big a piece.
Are they in a marinade or something?
No, that's just their own juice.
Okay. Their own
They were
juices,
just juice.
I'm batting 1,000 here.
You really, yeah. This is great. Keep it up.
Keep it up. Look at this. And then you sprinkle it with raspberries.
And they're still frozen.
They're still frozen.
Okay.
You can just, look at that, just on top. And then there's a sauce made with yogurt and a little bit of egg and a little bit of sugar. And you pour that over the top like this. And you bake it. So you bake it for about 35 minutes till this custard sets. And then you pull it out of the oven and you put on the streusel for another.
Are you taking notes? These are some steps.
I've seen it here. This is all
right.
I need to look at.
You don't need to make it.
I'm like the
but
dogs.
I just wanted to show you how easy it really is to make. And yet it's so
Donna.
I know.
Spectacular.
It's the best. I know. It is so good. It's so good.
He just sold me on it. Now I'm diving in.
In case you don't want to go to that much work, it's a little bit simpler.
That is very, very good.
Yeah. These are fresh peaches. And you can just cut up fresh peaches. And then to make that a little bit special, I made a port wine reduction, which means you take a cup of port wine and you reduce it to 1/4 cup. And
just by heating it.
Yeah, just by heating it up?
Just by heating it up. And then you pour it over the peaches, and it's your dessert, just like that. And this is yours right there, if you want to try that. But you probably won't like it as well as the pie.
You never know.
But
Can you use other things besides port, Donna, or do you recommend doing the port?
The port is because it's so sweet.
Right,
I tried it with something like cranberry wine, and it really didn't turn out that well.
Yeah.
And other wines don't have enough sugar in it.
Right.
So,
Port's so rich to begin with.
It is
so.
rich. So I did have to, use port wine.
Does the alcohol stay in it?
No, by then
It's all boiled out.
Yeah. But
He already ate one of the peaches, by the way, just for the record.
But
that's good too.
Yeah, but now just in case.
It's not as good as a pie. You're right.
One other tip. I was making this pie the other day, and my peach was just terrible. It was like, oh my gosh, sometimes you open it up and it just is not a good peach. So I put it away, and I used canned peaches. And canned peaches or frozen peaches can be substituted for fresh peaches in things like a baked pie. You never know the difference.
You won't.
No. So keep them on hand.
So this whole thing that peaches are in season.
Well, it's nice for this. You don't want to put canned peaches there.
And honestly, there's nothing that beats that for me.
No,
that is just so good.
I know, but it has to be the right peach.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
So make it, get it softened up, and smell it.
You guys were talking about where to get your peaches from. Do you have a favorite, like some region to look for or anything like that?
I really don't, because I just want to know that it's ripe.
Well, they advertise the Idaho peaches are here.
I know.
Chin dripping.
And Brennan's has, the best. If you go taste them, they have them so you can taste them and then you decide which ones you like.
Yeah, those are usually ripe right on the time.
Chin dripping.
All right. All the recipes online at channel3000.com.
It's a reminder to not eat a full peach on a date
That's right.
next time. Okay, got it. Thank you, Donna.
Thanks, Donna.
You're welcome.
A final check of your forecast coming up. Dana's back. Get out and enjoy tonight.
Yes, it is so nice outside right now. It feels great. It's sunny. Those dew points are low. So if you can spend the evening out, I would certainly recommend it. Here's a look out of our Edgewater sky cam. A beautiful evening if you're heading downtown. Our Doppler track's been nice and quiet all day long. In fact, in the last 24 hours, we haven't picked up any additional rainfall. I can't say the same, though, as we look ahead through the next 24 hours and even the next 48 hours. 77 currently in Madison, 80 in Boscobel, about 77 towards Camp Douglas, and 75 in Monroe at this time. That is a little warmer than yesterday, but it's really pleasant outside again since those dew points are in the 50s. Now, your Friday is going to start off with some showers and thunderstorms. Not a total washout, but we will have a few stragglers left for your morning commute. Temperatures in the afternoon, again, will be back in the upper 70s. But with that sunshine coming through, it should be pretty decent later in the day, just a little more humid outside. Another chance for showers will develop late in the day on Saturday, likely coming in more in the evening and at night, and that'll stay with us into Sunday morning. And it does seem like that pattern really continues through the weekend and into next week, where we have these like pop-up storms for a little bit, and then we get some sunshine, and the cycle continues.
And a hot week on tap.
Yeah. Hot week and humid, too, for the next
Still
few
summer.
days. Still summer.
This is like a very
August.
summer forecast
Yes,
right here.
yes.
Yeah.
All right, Dana, thank you. And tomorrow here on Live Before, our news hounds, Lola and Louie, have the top animal stories of the week.
And Michael Bruno will go backstage at Music Theater of Madison's premiere of the new musical, Hephaestus.
Well, in today's Final Touch, apparently Japan is in the middle of a tapioca craze.
Yeah, it's true. And Tapioca Land is the latest event to cash in. The self-proclaimed world's first tapioca theme park opened its doors in a fashionable district of Tokyo, because why wouldn't it? The park has various tapioca vendors, a tapioca-themed ball pit, and a wide variety of selfie spots aimed at boosting the site's appeal on social media.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, Japan's first tapioca boom took place in the early 90s.
Nice.
This is the latest boom, and it features big black tapioca pearls. Tokyo is now home to more than 300 tapioca shops, and the Tapioca Land pop-up gets 1,500 visitors.